Oh, Poirier has been red hot, man. I don't know what to expect from Dustin Poirier, by the way. Like, for a guy that could ride off into the sunset and have every opportunity that anybody would ever hope to. I mean, it's very, very hard to be involved with the sport of MMA if you are not in the cage throwing punches at somebody and having somebody throw punches at you. It's just a very hard thing to be involved in. But Dustin Poirier would be different. He would have one of those ideal situations. He's already been brought over on ESPN. You guys have proven that you want to see him and come on that journey. He's already showed that he can look super cool in a flashy jacket. I mean, not for nothing, but Dustin Poirier isn't going anywhere when his competitive career comes to an end. And that's a dream. That's really not something that very many guys can get. You 4 or 5 over history. So Dustin, when his career is to come to an end, instead of having that celebratory moment, we call it giving them their flowers, and then we all just move on, even though a portion of this person's life is ended. That's just not the case for Poirier. Poirier will be on TV and in your living rooms and coming to you about fights a lot. So, what is it that makes him tick? And the more I get to know Dustin Poirier, I must tell you, he's a very interesting guy. Like, when you take this humble, shy kid, I mean, he's from a small town in Lafayette, and all of a sudden he's on the big time, standing opposite the biggest star the industry's ever had, not once, not twice, 3 times. I mean, this really is an incredible thing. You got this humble, regular guy, he went on and married his childhood sweetheart. It's just this beautiful story, but it's a very simple and regular story. On the other side, this is one of the biggest draws in the entire industry. So, what makes a guy like that tick? And for how long? For how long is he going to have to go through the life of competitive combat? And I listen to everything he says. I could tell you guys right off the top of my head the last 5 interviews that he's done, and I could tell you chronologically the timeline. And the only conclusive determination you will come to is he is not ready to be done fighting. He's just not ready. And he's got anger inside of him, by the way. He was cutting a promo on Chandler, letting us know what bothered him about Michael Chandler. And he was very legitimately upset. There wasn't much there. Like, Chandler didn't do very much. And it's got, just get Dustin up early in the morning and he's running here, you fight this guy and find him. But that's very interesting. Like, you don't need a bunch of money to get Dustin Poirier. You don't need a belt. You don't need a main event. There's other things, right? There's other things that get this guy going. And I find that to be very compelling. In case you guys are wondering, what was the problem with Chandler? All it was, and I've heard another guy complain about this on Chandler. I feel like Chandler's really misunderstood, quite frankly. But Chandler greatly embraced the entertainment style of the sport. And then he, like anybody else, didn't know if he'd be good at it. He didn't know if you guys would want to hear. He didn't know if he's just going to go out and make a fool of himself or it's going to be something cool. He doesn't know. And there was some guys that he just thought, he admired. He watched their work, and Dustin Poirier was one of those guys. And so Chandler had just approached him and told him, hey, by the way, I'm really a fan of you do such a great job. But then Chandler would do interviews and he would go back in that entertainment side. So, but some guys came away thinking Chandler was fake. And that's where I say he's misunderstood. Like, no, it's just the opposite. He's not fake at all. That's why he came up and let you know, yeah, here's what I'm doing and here's a little bit of what I'm going for. But don't take it maybe as personal as it says. That's actually what makes it so sincere and not fake. That's where the misunderstanding comes from. That's between them. I don't want to make peace between Chandler and Poirier. I want to make war. I am happy and fine with the whole thing. But it was very interesting to hear Dustin state what his problem with Chandler was. Because if you really boil that down, there's nothing on it. He didn't curse at him. He didn't insult him. He didn't bring up the DMs. And if that's got Poirier upset, like, just how pissed off can that guy become?